In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on November 2nd, 2024, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One thing before we start, if you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Southern California versus Washington. The Washington Huskies are set to host the Southern California Trojans in an exciting Big Ten Conference clash on Saturday night at Alaska Airlines Field in Husky Stadium. Both teams come into this matchup with identical 4-4 records, which likely feels like a letdown given each team's high expectations. Southern California began the season with a strong start, only to falter in recent weeks, while Washington is still riding the momentum of last season's national championship appearance. The Huskies hold a slight edge in recent meetings, having won 2 straight and 3 of the last 4 games against the Trojans. With this being their first encounter as Big Ten rivals, the stage is set for an intense matchup that fans on both sides won't want to miss. On paper, the Southern California Trojans possess more individual talent, but their performances this season have exposed a vulnerability against teams that play a physical, grinded-out style. This season, Southern California has struggled to assert its dominance on the road, which raises doubts about whether they'll be able to impose their will on the Huskies in this tough away game environment. While the Huskies have faced difficulties putting points on the scoreboard, they excel in physical play and rank 6th in the nation in total defense. This strength in the trenches could allow Washington to control the pace of the game, making it a physical contest that may play to their advantage, particularly if it's a close game down the stretch. Washington also boasts an impressive home record, remaining undefeated at Husky Stadium for 3 years. Notably, this is the first time in 3 seasons that Washington enters a home game as an underdog, which will only add to the electric atmosphere. Playing a night game in Seattle's famously challenging environment, the Huskies could make things difficult for Southern California's offense and might be well positioned to pull off an upset. A night game in Seattle presents a unique challenge for any visiting team, and Washington's defense has been particularly effective in previous home games. Although they had a rough patch on a recent 2-game road trip, Washington's defense remains one of the conference's best. Quarterback Caleb Moss has shown tendencies toward risky throws, and Washington's secondary, one of the best in the Pac-12, could take advantage of any mistakes. Washington has also claimed the last 2 meetings in this series, giving them additional confidence going into this matchup. Given Southern California's struggles in the secondary, Washington may be able to exploit these weaknesses and move the ball effectively. For these reasons, the Washington Huskies to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. While Southern California has leaned heavily on their passing game throughout the season, this matchup might ultimately be decided by who controls the ground game. Washington's game last week against Indiana served as a reminder that they don't have the firepower to keep up with high-octane offenses in a back-and-forth scoring affair. Recognizing this, Washington will likely focus on establishing their ground game early to control the clock and prevent a shootout. Similarly, Southern California has found success on the road this season by leaning on their rushing attack, which allows them to manage the tempo and wear down opposing defenses. With both teams emphasizing the run, the clock will likely wind down quickly, limiting the number of possessions each team will have and creating a low-scoring environment. Washington's defense, especially its red zone unit, has been a point of pride, and they'll look to leverage this strength to keep Southern California's scoring in check. Ranked in the top 10 for fewest yards allowed per game, the Huskies' pass rush and secondary are more than capable of slowing down Southern California's potent offense. However, Washington has also struggled to sustain offensive drives at times, which could prevent them from converting on crucial 3rd downs, a trend that may persist in this game. Historically, this rivalry has tended to be low-scoring, with 5 of the last 6 games between these teams hitting the under. Although Southern California's offense has big play potential, those opportunities may be limited in a more conservative, ball control style of play. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Defense, especially its red zone unit, has been a point of pride, and they'll look to leverage this strength to keep Southern California's scoring in check. Ranked in the top 10 for fewest yards allowed per game, the Huskies' pass rush and secondary are more than capable of slowing down Southern California's potent offense. However, Washington has also struggled to sustain offensive drives at times, which could prevent them from converting on crucial third downs, a trend that may persist in this game. Historically, this rivalry has tended to be low scoring, with 5 of the last 6 games between these teams hitting the under. Although Southern California's offense has big play potential, those opportunities may be limited in a more conservative, ball control style of play. Therefore, under the projected total is our full game total pick. Louisville versus Clemson. Louisville aims to make a strong statement as they prepare to face number 11 Clemson in a crucial Atlantic Coast Conference showdown on Saturday night. The Cardinals, holding a 5-3 record overall and 3-2 in Atlantic Coast Conference play, maintained momentum with a 31-27 win over Boston College last Friday. Meanwhile, Clemson, standing at 6-1 overall and 5-0 in Atlantic Coast Conference games, is coming off a bye week. The Tigers are riding a 6-game winning streak, including a dominant 48-31 victory over Virginia in their most recent game. This matchup marks the 8th time these teams have met, with Clemson holding an unblemished record in the series, having won all 8 games and covering the spread in 6 out of those contests. Louisville has struggled to keep pace with Clemson historically and appears outmatched once again. Despite being favored by a touchdown in recent games, Louisville barely scraped by against Virginia and Boston College, with only a 4-point win over the Cavaliers, a team that Clemson defeated by 17 points. Clemson's offense is a powerhouse, led by quarterback Cade Klubnik, who has been remarkably efficient with 20 touchdown passes to just 3 interceptions. With Louisville's defense surrendering over 220 passing yards per game, Clemson will likely focus on exploiting this weakness through the air. Recent trends favor the Tigers as they are 6-0 against the spread in their last 6 meetings with Louisville and have gone 4-2 against the spread in their last 6 games. On the other hand, Louisville has failed to cover the spread in their last 5 games, underscoring their recent struggles. The Cardinals have been inconsistent, posting a 2-3 record in their last 5 games, including a disappointing home loss to SMU. In contrast, Clemson, after an opening loss to Georgia, has rebounded impressively with 6 consecutive victories, solidifying their place as a legitimate contender. Clemson's passing game is particularly potent, averaging 290 yards per game, which should spell trouble for Louisville's pass defense, currently allowing 222 yards per game and ranked 74th in the country. Additionally, Clemson's defense has been stout, holding opponents to 14 points or fewer in 3 of their last 4 games. The Tigers have won each of their 6 games by margins of at least 16 points, showcasing their ability to dominate both offensively and defensively. Louisville's defense appears to be regressing at a concerning rate, which is far from ideal heading into this matchup. They have not covered the spread in their last 5 games and are 2-7 against the spread in their previous 9 games as a double-digit underdog. Meanwhile, Clemson is improving steadily each week and boasts a 4-2 record against the spread as a double-digit favorite this season. Clemson's offense, currently ranking 5th in total yards and 4th in scoring, should find ample opportunities against Louisville's struggling defense. Therefore, the Clemson Tigers to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. In their matchup last season, the 2 teams combined for 47 points against a projected total of 52 points, with Clemson leading the scoring effort with 31 points. However, Clemson's offense this season is a different beast entirely, averaging 40 points or more in 5 of their last 6 games. The Tigers have excelled in both passing and rushing attacks, gaining strength with each game since their season opener. Louisville's defense lacks the firepower needed to stymie Clemson's offensive momentum, making it likely that the Tigers will be able to score heavily. However, Louisville is also capable of contributing to the total score, as they have posted at least 24 points in every game this season and have surpassed 30 points in half of their contests. Clemson's defense will likely yield a few scores, making the over a compelling choice. Combined, the teams have a 9-6 record for the over this season, with 4 of their last 6 encounters also hitting the over. Louisville boasts a formidable passing offense, averaging 300 yards per game, which ranks 10th in the nation. This could be a critical factor against Clemson's secondary, which ranks 66th in pass defense. Meanwhile, Clemson has emerged as one of the Atlantic Coast Conference's top offensive units under quarterback Cade Klubnik, scoring at least 40 points in 5 of their last 6 games and averaging a staggering 53 points in home games. Expect Clemson to favor the pass in this matchup, enabling quick scoring drives. Given that the over has hit in 4 of the last 6 meetings between these teams, we anticipate plenty of offensive fireworks in this game. Therefore, over the projected total total is our full game total pick. Texas Agricultural and Mechanical versus South Carolina. The South Carolina Gamecocks are preparing to host the number 10 Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Aggies in a highly anticipated Southeastern Conference matchup that could impact both teams' seasons significantly. Texas Agricultural and Mechanical currently leads the Southeastern Conference standings, holding the top position ahead of Georgia, which stands at 4-1, and the 3-1 trio of Texas, Tennessee, and LSU. Although the Gamecocks and Aggies face each other every year, the rivalry has been largely one-sided, with Texas Agricultural and Mechanical winning 9 of their last 10 encounters, including a decisive 30-17 victory over South Carolina last season, in which the Aggies entered as 17-point favorites. Despite the Aggies' dominant track record, the Gamecocks have reason to believe they can challenge Texas Agricultural and Mechanical on Saturday. South Carolina has shown resilience as an underdog, nearly pulling off upsets against formidable opponents like LSU and Alabama earlier in the season. Additionally, they had the advantage of a bye week to regroup and prepare specifically for this game. Meanwhile, Texas Agricultural and Mechanical is coming off a significant victory over LSU, which keeps their momentum high, though they are well aware that a single slip-up could jeopardize their strong season, especially following an opening loss to Notre Dame. Although the game is expected to be tightly contested, Texas Agricultural and Mechanical is likely to assert its physicality as the game progresses, particularly in the trenches. The decision to start Reed, even if temporary, provides a dynamic edge over the inconsistent and less mobile Weigman, who would likely struggle against South Carolina's aggressive pass rush. South Carolina's last encounter with a team built around a run-heavy offense ended in a lopsided 27-3 loss to Ole Miss, also played at home after a bye week against a ranked opponent. With the Aggies boasting a similar ground-oriented approach led by running back Moss and dual-threat quarterback Reed, they seem well equipped to control the pace of the game and win the time of possession battle. By keeping the Gamecocks' offense off the field, the Aggies can prevent South Carolina from finding an offensive rhythm and gaining momentum. While South Carolina brings solid defensive capabilities, a strong running game, and the energy of a passionate home crowd, these strengths haven't consistently translated into wins in similar matchups this season. In past home games where they were underdogs against favored opponents, such as LSU and Ole Miss, the Gamecocks ultimately suffered disappointing losses. Texas Agricultural and Mechanical, on the other hand, is riding a wave of recent successes and has been consistently impressive on offense. So the Texas Agricultural and Mechanical Aggies to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. Both teams have recently shown a tendency to exceed the projected point totals, with South Carolina going over in their last 2 games and Texas Agricultural and Mechanical in 3 consecutive matchups. Yet, despite this pattern, bookmakers have set a lower total of 44.5 points for this game, Agricultural and Mechanical's lowest line this season, likely out of respect for South Carolina's strong defense. However, this adjustment may be overly cautious, as the Aggies have averaged nearly 38 points per game in their last 3 outings, while South Carolina recently put up 35 points against Wisconsin. Additionally, these teams have familiarity on their side, as they meet annually. None of their last 4 games have fallen below this total, averaging 52.5 combined points, with the lowest at 47. The overtrend is also evident in Texas Agricultural and Mechanical's last 4 Southeastern Conference road games, where each has exceeded the line, and in South Carolina's last 3 November games as an underdog facing AP Top 15 teams, all of which went over. Texas Agricultural and Mechanical, with solid momentum, will approach South Carolina with caution, knowing the Gamecocks have come close to notable upsets this season. The switch to Reed ignited the Aggies' offense against LSU, and his mobility should help mitigate South Carolina's pass rush, which would have been more effective against the stationary Weigman. On the other side, South Carolina benefits from additional rest and enters the game with renewed energy following a commanding victory and a bye week. Expect the Gamecocks to play with a sense of urgency in front of their enthusiastic home fans, treating this matchup as a must-win scenario. Given both teams' offensive capabilities and the trends in previous matchups, over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.